The Walrus Audio Lore is a reverse soundscape generator, and to expand on that just a little bit more, it's got two DSPs with analog feedback paths going back into the first one. And those DSPs do a whole bunch of delay, reverb, and pitch shifting effects, and those effects come together in 5 different programs that we set down here. I thought I'd do this video a little bit differently, and instead of trying to explain the whole pedal knob by knob, I'll just break down the parts of that opening number, starting with the first guitar, where I used program number 2, reverse delay into a shimmer or octave up reverb. And then I wanted something almost like a Gregorian chant, just to hang in the background rolling. And I got that by playing triads into program 3, which is reverse delay into octave down reverb, or what they call dark reverb. I know you're all curious about that sustainy thing that I was holding over the strings. That's a sound stone, and it creates a magnetic field and works almost like an electric bow for a guitar string. So I'm using that to get that sustained drone and then running that through program 1, which is reverse delay into reverse reverb. So that makes it so one note really just glides into the next. Now, I knew that soundstone part would be hanging out way up here, and I wanted something to kind of counterbalance it way down here. So I added in some super low notes on my Arturia Micro Brute. And then I ran that through program 4, which is a reverse reverb into a forward reverb. So that's a whole lot of mass to begin with right there, but then the feedback and the regen knobs up here are adding in an octave down as well as an octave up. So now these single notes become absolutely massive. I wasn't able to find a way to work in program 5 into that number, but that's pitch delay into pitch delay. Basically, each time a note echoes or repeats, it comes back as the 4th, 5th, and then the octave. And the X knob over here determines the order in which those notes come back. Really cool effect. Within those programs, these knobs do different things, and I'm not going to do the usual back and forth of each one, but generally speaking, feedback controls the first feedback loop. In 4 and 5, it does some pitch stuff. Regen here controls the amount of gain in the second feedback path, and in programs 2, 3, and 4, it also controls the amount of octave up or down in the mix. Mod is a little bit of modulation that you can add to the effect, and the rate of the modulation can be adjusted independently of the main delay time by just holding down the bypass button while adjusting the mod knob. Mix is just your standard dry to wet adjustment. X controls an aspect specific to each program, so consult your user manual. Tone is a filter to help shape the sound, and time is the delay time of the repeats, except in Program 4, where it's used to time stretch the reverbs, like this. It's got tap tempo, which helps set the underlying pulse of the delay, and we can also hold it down to either rise or dive. You know, lately I've been working on getting outside of my comfort zone. It's something a mentor of mine at work has been challenging me to do, and I'm realizing that so much of what I do is based on habit and safety. And that applies to, well, all aspects of things, including how I play guitar. Now, I've never been a big user of alternate tunings, but there was a discussion in the Emily Hopkins Discord about FAC GCE tuning, affectionately and appropriately nicknamed the Midwest Emo tuning. And I had it installed that I was waiting to finish, so I grabbed the Warhawk, I retuned it, and then 5 minutes later, I've got a page full of ideas, including the fingerpick progression for that opening number. Now, Soundscape isn't typically my thing, but I went to a show at Utility Bicycle Works last week with a couple of ambient artists, and I definitely found myself discovering new applications for effects and phrasings and rhythms. I also got to talk pedals after the show, so that was clutch. This pedal being centered around reverse effects and octaves really makes building out those string-like drones and synth-like pads super easy and natural, even for a beginner like me. And I was able to do all that with just this pedal. There were no extra reverbs or delays or choruses that I added after the fact. And that should give you an idea of just how capable this pedal is. It's easy to point out some of the features that would be really nice to have on here, like stereo. But Walrus already has a ton of big delay, reverb, octave pedals like the Descent, and that one will always hold a special place in my heart. If the lore is calling out to you, please make sure you use my Zounds link down in the video description. They were kind enough to hook me up with this so that I could figure it out and put this video together. They're big fans of the show, and we're big fans of theirs. Also, I have a big favor to ask. There's a lot of people who show up in the comments for each video week after week with great feedback. I see you, I love you, I appreciate you. But you're not subscribed to the channel. If the algorithm does its magic and it keeps bringing it back, that's great. But we're on a video platform, and ultimately it's those numbers that gauge the success or failure of a channel. And I want this to be a success. Look, I'm just gonna say it. I have a personal goal. I would love to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's a bit of a stretch. It won't break my heart if it doesn't happen. But if you like the stuff that I do here and you want to see more, please do me a favor and make sure you're subscribed. I hate begging. I know this isn't what you came here for, but I wouldn't ask if it didn't matter. I promise it's not an ego thing. All right, I feel dirty and I want to get back to making music. Let me get out of here. I'll catch you on the next one.